A literature review is the way that you sort of find the context for your project. So it's about discovering what's been done before in a similar field or in a similar environment, and then working out where you're contributing to knowledge in that field. So it's a way of making sure that you're not just duplicating other people's work, and you're learning from their experiences as well. I often think a literature review is like going down a funnel. You start really broad and then you sort of narrow down the specialism until you hopefully get to your research question, which is something that nobody else has answered yet.
You need to know what the literature is so that you know how the work you're doing relates to that literature. So the literature review is important because that's how you can provide evidence for what you're claiming to be current state-of-the-art knowledge and how your project relates to it.
Literature review, it is an important part of your research because you have to establish the importance and novelty of your research. So in order to establish this novelty and importance, you need to read the current literature, identify where are these bits missing, what are the gaps in the literature.
So in the literature review, by its nature, it shows that you've done lots of work because it should be packed with references. Nobody expects you to read every single thing ever published, but you should know that subject area well enough to know who the key thinkers are, what their key papers and books are, and they should come up in your references, not only name checked, but explained and interpreted and analysed a little bit.
It shows what other people have written on the topic, it shows that you know what other people have written on the topic, and it shows you know how your work fits into that. And if this area of knowledge is very new, what kind of areas of knowledge are close to it so that you can pick up the questions being asked there and say, these are also important for what I'm looking at.
So a literature review is where you scan the literature that already exists in the particular area that you're interested in, or in several areas that are around the area, the specific topic that you're interested in. It's where you try also to dissect the shape of the literature as a whole. So what are the areas that are well covered, what are the areas that are not, and so on. And it's where you probe in detail into those studies that are particularly close to the thing that you're interested in. So if you're interested in a specific topic, there's bound to be some studies that are quite close to what you're interested in. So the literature review both tries to survey the literature as a whole in the relevant area and to try to probe into the particular studies that are of major interest. It's really important because it sets up, as it were, the contribution that your dissertation will make. So it sets up then how the rest of the work that you're going to do contributes to the literature, what it adds, and how it relates to studies that have gone before.